Gardening in clay soil can be a challenge, but it's not impossible. In fact, some perennials thrive in heavy, moisture-retentive soil, bringing beauty and resilience to your garden year after year. The key is choosing the right plants and giving them the best care to ensure they thrive. Here are 10 top perennials that love clay soil, along with tips to help them flourish. And remember, if you find this guide helpful, subscribe to Hydro Haven and share it with fellow gardeners. Daylilies are among the toughest perennials for clay soil, tolerating compacted conditions and fluctuating moisture levels with ease. These reliable bloomers come in a stunning array of colors and require little maintenance. To keep them thriving, plant them in a spot with full sun to light shade and enrich the soil with compost before planting. While they can handle occasional drought, watering during dry spells ensures more vibrant blooms. Deadheading spent flowers encourages continuous flowering, and dividing every few years keeps clumps healthy and vigorous. Black-eyed Susans are a staple for clay soil gardens, offering bright yellow flowers with dark centers that attract pollinators. They are incredibly adaptable, and even tolerate occasional wet feet. For best results, plant them in full sun and provide occasional deep watering. Deadheading spent blooms prolongs flowering, and a layer of mulch around the base helps retain moisture and suppress weeds. These plants self-seed readily, so if you want to control spread, remove seed heads before they mature. Bee balm is perfect for gardeners who want to attract bees, butterflies, and hummingbirds. This clay-loving perennial thrives in full sun to partial shade and enjoys consistent moisture. To prevent powdery mildew, provide good air circulation by spacing plants properly and thinning out dense growth as needed. A top dressing of compost in early spring promotes strong growth, while deadheading encourages reblooming. Cutting plants back in the fall keeps the garden tidy and reduces the risk of disease. For a tall, striking perennial that loves clay soil, Joe Pye weed is a fantastic choice. This late summer bloomer produces clusters of pinkish-purple flowers that butterflies adore. Plant it in full sun or partial shade and keep the soil consistently moist, as it doesn't tolerate prolonged drought. A thick layer of mulch helps retain moisture and keeps roots cool. Pruning in early spring to remove old stems promotes fresh, vigorous growth each year. Coneflowers are tough perennials that not only handle clay soil but also attract pollinators and birds. Their drought tolerance makes them ideal for low-maintenance gardens. To ensure healthy plants, provide full sun and improve drainage slightly by mixing in organic matter. Deadheading spent blooms encourages continuous flowering, but leaving some seed heads in fall provides food for birds. Every few years, dividing clumps prevents overcrowding and promotes better blooms. Siberian irises add elegance to the garden with their graceful, upright foliage and stunning blue, purple, or white flowers. They adapt well to clay soil, especially if it retains moisture. Full sun to partial shade is ideal, and incorporating compost before planting improves soil texture. After flowering, remove spent blooms for a tidier appearance. In fall, cut back foliage to prevent overwintering pests and promote healthy regrowth in spring. False indigo is a hardy perennial that not only tolerates clay soil but actually improves it over time with its deep, nitrogen-fixing roots. It thrives in full sun and requires minimal maintenance once established. Watering deeply during the first year encourages a strong root system, but once mature, it becomes highly drought-tolerant. Deadheading is optional, but allowing seed pods to form adds winter interest. In early spring, cutting back old stems makes way for new growth. Named for its unique blooms that resemble turtle heads, this perennial flourishes in clay soil and moist conditions. It's an excellent choice for partially shaded areas where other plants may struggle. Keeping the soil consistently moist ensures healthy growth, and applying a balanced fertilizer in early spring supports flowering. To maintain a bushy habit, pinching back stems in early summer encourages branching. After the first frost, cutting plants back to the ground tidies up the garden. Astilbes bring feathery plumes of flowers to shady clay soil gardens, thriving in consistently moist conditions. They do best in partial shade, though they can tolerate morning sun if kept well watered. Before planting, amending the soil with compost improves texture and drainage. Mulching helps retain moisture, which is crucial for prolonged blooming. Deadheading faded flowers keeps plants looking fresh, while cutting back foliage in late fall prepares them for dormancy. For vibrant late-season color, Helenium is a fantastic choice that thrives in clay soil. It prefers full sun and benefits from a moderate amount of moisture. Amending the soil with compost before planting helps with drainage and root development. Deadheading extends the blooming period, and in early summer, pinching back stems encourages a more compact growth habit. In fall, cutting plants back prevents disease and keeps the garden looking tidy. Even though these perennials adapt well to clay soil, improving the soil can make a big difference in plant health and performance. Adding organic matter like compost, aged manure, or leaf mold helps break up dense soil, allowing better root penetration and drainage. Avoid working clay soil when wet, as it compacts easily, and can become rock hard when dry. A layer of mulch retains moisture and reduces the risk of cracking in summer heat. Over time, practices like mulching and adding organic material will gradually improve soil structure, making it even more hospitable for plants. Growing perennials in clay soil doesn't have to be a struggle. By choosing plants that naturally thrive in these conditions and giving them the right care, you can create a beautiful, thriving garden with minimal effort. These 10 perennials offer a mix of colors, textures, and bloom times, ensuring year-round interest in your landscape. Whether you're filling a sunny border, adding structure to a shade garden, or attracting pollinators, there's a clay-loving perennial to suit your needs. If you found this guide helpful, don't forget to subscribe to Hydrohaven and share it with fellow gardeners. Happy planting!